This thing right here is a chessboard, I think. I know, I've studied this game for years. Today I'm going to be answering the most important question. Which of these 64 squares is the worst? Right, let's look at this. Right, first we need to look at the pawn because that is the most simplest piece. At the start you can move 1 or 2, right? Let's say, for whatever reason, you decide to move 2 because going big is better. Right now, on your next move, regardless if you went 1 or 2, you can only move 1. Okay? But now, here's the problem, right? Say your Joe does a Candace. Right, Candace can move 1 and you'd be able to take diagonally. Because that's how chess works. It's a stupid game. However, if it moves 2, you can do the most important move ever. En passant. And so then, you can move 1 again. And now, what you do is move. What the? So yeah, whenever you get to the end of the board, you turn into any piece you want, apart from a king, because a pawn is not a piece, and it has to be your own color. Sorry. So that means that the rows that are the best, or the not the best for the pawn, and in other words, the worst are rows 2, because none happened, row 3, row 4 and 5 are great because they're almost on, row 6 and row 7, meaning anyone from these 4 rows are most likely going to be the worst square. Right, let's take an extract from one of my games to show the next one, okay? Let's say it's right go because it was my go, I did mine and I was right. Yeah, we somehow got celebrated, got the board in this position, don't ask, it's a very professional game. So I went here, right, threatening check. Now, I knew he would see it as that's only 4 squares in between. Already he's gonna see it, okay? He's gonna see it. And so, he done this, right? Very good move, apart from one reason. You probably missed this. You probably didn't see that. So what did I do? I took this, and then he resigned, because he had no chance at beating me when he had no other piece. So yeah, he was pretty much screwed. I wouldn't blame him. So that's why the best squares for these pieces are the bishops are either this, 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 or this. No other square is any good for the bishop. Okay, so far all we deducted was what's the best squares. We now know that these 4 corners are the best squares in the whole game. So that's only 60 more squares to narrow it down to. Alright, now let's look at the knights. I use 3 knights for this example just because, yeah. Right, so first, this one here is on the edge, right? So let's say it's black go. They have no good moves because the only move they can make is here. And this is very bad because this knight can take this one, this square. Now the reason this knight from over here could take this square was because it could go around to 8 different pieces. So no matter where you put this knight, he was pretty much screwed from the beginning. I know that's a corner piece, so that's weird. Another thing is, here is also pretty bad. It only has 4 squares it can go for, 6 if you include this one, and 7 if you include this one. Because obviously, he can also go back here, but we'll get into that later on. Or not, I don't know yet. So yeah, no matter where you went here, like if you decide to go here, that's not as good because this one can move any 8 squares, including this one. That's why horses on the rim are grim, and so all these squares are the worst for the horses. Next, let's look at the rooks. Right, so as you can tell, these 2 rooks done terrible, and they were in the worst places ever on the 5th and 6th rank, obviously, as that's where the enemy's pieces were already gonna be. That's why for rooks, we're calling them 12 as the worst squares. Next up, let's talk about the queen. Now be careful with the queen. There are a few squares that are bad, right? Because they can go nearly everywhere on the board, but you need to be careful. You do not want them to go anywhere on this row here, this corner here, anywhere down this aisle, or anywhere across this aisle. And the reason why all them squares are the worst is because if you go into any one of these squares, like say here, you might accidentally do this. Okay, I got rid of the queen in time. Okay, you don't need to suffer with that horrible, scary image. Okay, let's just go on to the next piece, the king. Alright, let's take this position, and this is a very common position, and it happened many times with me before. Okay, so now, let's say it's black go, and now black thinks they're smart, even though they're already done a work, and so they try to take this work. Now, they think that I'm going to move my king up, and then lose my second work. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know that as I haven't moved my king or my work, because it's gone now, I can castle. So what I do, I castle. And since I castle, I cross the space he was on. So now, the guy's forced to resign. They'll make up some salty excuse, but all you need to know is that E is very good with it. This square here is very good. But that tells us nothing about what the worst square is for the king. Well, as it turned out, I read the rules of chess, like I know no one reads it, like, and apparently the aim is not to get the most en passant, which it obviously is, let's not kid ourselves. Apparently, it's actually just to keep the king safe. And now, let me put up this situation that may occur. Now, let's just presume that these two were the same color, okay? Which king is safer? Well, see, this is a union jacking queen, meaning the queen is very useless, and so if it can attack you while union jacking, you're already doing terrible. And obviously, this one is safe over here because the queen cannot go diagonal like this, otherwise it'll be taken. Right, so this is the position. And now I'll ask you this: which king do you think is safer? Keep in mind, let's say it's whites go first, okay? Obviously you're gonna say the black king is safer, right? As there's no obvious threats. Now, with the white king, all I'd have to do is en passant this pawn that was there, and now it's check. And now when he can't go there, going there is too risky, and you're not brave enough to go here, and so he goes there. So now what do you do? Check. No, he has nowhere else to go but to run, and then check again. He has nowhere else to run, and then check mate. So that's obviously very bad. And now as the black king, right, let's just move these pieces out of the way. There's no threats. There's no threats because if he tried to go down here for back rank mate, not only can he move out if he really wanted to, but he could also just take the rook. Right, so I tallied up the result and found out the 4 worst squares, all equally bad, are these 4 squares. Now these are also called the center squares. Okay, and now in professional games you'll often see ones move their H pawn instead of moving anything into these squares, as this is the best move in the game, while having any pieces here means you nearly automatically lose.